Guten Tag. Today I have the rare opportunity to meet the Tesla Fahrer und Freunde team, or Tesla Drivers and Friends team, here in Berlin at Gigafactory Berlin. So you can see around us, and you can also just pan the camera to see, like, we're in the middle of the county fair. See Ferris wheel here. See currywurst. You have to have currywurst when you're in Germany. I'm not sure whether it's overrated or
it's our most famous fast food, yeah, that's for sure.
So there you go, the most famous fast food. When you come to Singapore, you can eat curry puff, so maybe something similar, or popiah. So this is a beautiful Saturday afternoon. We just finished the Gigafactory tour, and I'm here with Lars, who is a board member of the TFF, or the Tesla Fahrer und Freunde group, which is the officially recognized Tesla club in Germany. There are a couple of Tesla clubs in Germany, but first let's hear from Lars. Lars, tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm a Tesla driver for 5.5 years now. I had 2 Model S's, and just a week ago I switched to a Model Y.
Congrats.
Thanks. And I took it here with my wife and my son, and we changed it because we wanted some more space inside, and we needed a roof rack and a tow hitch because my son is now a little older and we want to take bicycles with us all the time. And therefore the Model Y was a perfect trade-in.
And how many Teslas do you still have right now after the Model Y?
I only have my Model Y, and
Yeah.
my wife drives also electric, but she drives an Opel Corsa, so it's a German brand, a small car just for city driving. It's totally enough.
I see. And tell us one fun fact about yourself. So you've been driving Teslas for 5.5 years.
Yes. I'm not only into Tesla, I'm also a volunteer EMT for 26 years now.
Wow.
So I'm driving an emergency ambulance from time to time with one of my best friends. And these are the 2 things that I take most care of, or pride of, basically. So I like to give back to the community a little bit, and that's why I'm doing those EMT stuff. I mean, my normal office job is just sitting in front of a computer the whole day.
Yeah.
Then with the other thing, I can be outside, talk to people, help people, and that's nice.
Yeah, it's quite a contrast from a corporate role. And we had friends who are also EMT drivers in Singapore, and they say they see pretty tough situations, obviously a lot of emergencies, but also some really rough situations where it's hard to forget about certain things you see. So we do see that my friends in EMT also do go for counseling because of the amount of things that they see in their day-to-day job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, those things that you see or that you have to work on, I don't have a problem with those. So as an example, if there is an accident where you have to help and you see a lot of blood or whatever, you just do what you are trained to do, and you make the things that you are professionally trained on.
I see.
And you don't have to think about it really, because you're just acting. What makes more problems for me is, let's say I drive a 80-year-old granny that just have a broken ankle, and you talk to her and she's always complaining that she's alone, nobody takes care of her, so you have to interact with that person.
Yeah.
And when you get to know her a little bit better and you see how sad her life is and stuff, that's the things that I have more problems with, instead of just doing something at a crazy accident or so.
Got it. And tell us more about TFF.
So TFF is Germany's biggest owners group. We have a big forum attached to us where people can join and discuss all things. In these forums we have around about 30,000 registered members.
Wow.
From those 30,000, around about 5,000 are registered car owners, where we have verified with their VIN that they have a car. And from those are around about 320 are paying members of the club. So as a paying member, you support the club with all the mission, with transporting or keeping sustainable transportation up and running, and inform people about it. We help to install chargers. We, of course, give our drivers, we have drivers events where we can have driver's lessons on a closed course, where we have where you learn how to act in an emergency on your car, how to steer when, let's say, a deer runs in front of you, or emergency braking. All those kind of things. But we also do road trips. We sell merchandise, or we help that our members get some merchandise that they can buy, like shirts, like stuff for the normal living, like, for instance, those little purses that you can have instead of a normal purse. You have just a small one that contains everything you need, including your Tesla car. And stuff like this we do for our owners. And we like to extend this, and that's something I'm looking into, maybe to have some cooperations with some companies, like companies that build tires or rims, or even tuning companies, that people get a little bit more benefit when joining our club. Not only that we have a close relationship to Tesla, and we can help Tesla and Tesla can help us. So for instance, just this quarter, we helped in the delivery process of the Model Y and 3. So basically what we did is we went to Tesla centers where they had a high delivery demand, and the Tesla advisors delivered the car to the customer, showed them the car really quick, and then the customers drove out of the rooms of Tesla, and we were in front of the parking lot, and then helping the owners to explain the car in more detail, how to set up navigation, how to do autopilot and stuff. So all the questions where the advisors don't have the time for, we help to educate the drivers. And also once a quarter we have a call with the local management, and we can discuss things that we think should be better. They also give us some feedbacks on our stuff, and of course stuff like this week. We've got some tickets for our members here, so it's a very great opportunity.
It is. I'll put a link down to the TFF website in the description below. They also have a driver's checklist in their website, and check out their merchandise. And if you're visiting Germany, do look up for Lars as well. Can you share with us what is the history of Tesla in Germany? Like, how long has it been around? How did it start?
Our Owners Club was founded in 2014. That was even before the official Tesla Owners Club program started. That's why our initial logo looks like this. It's not the Tesla logo. We changed, we adapted the Tesla logo later on as well to be in line with the program. But it started with some roadster drivers that just want to help each other with chargers, because back in the days you don't have the public chargers, you don't have superchargers. And basically those people, I think it was a group of 10 people that founded the club with their roadsters. And those people, most of them are still in the club. They mostly still have the roadsters, which in some cases are now more worse than what they did before, because the prices are going up and up. But we see a big change now with Model 3 and Y coming in. We see that the people getting way younger. So the demographic changes. In the beginning, I would say the people were between 40 and 50 years old, mostly male, mostly IT guys or related. And now you see women, you see young families, you see grandpas. Everybody buys this car now. That's amazing to see that the car is really totally in the public now, and it's not a geek car anymore. It's for everybody.
Agree. Tesla used to be like a supercar club with the original Roadster. Talking about the Roadster, recently there was news in the UK of one of the owners of the original Roadster actually taking a drive across the island, and the battery is still pretty strong even after 10 years. And now, as Lars mentioned, Tesla's a lot more accessible to everyone. And that's all part of Elon Musk's larger mission of really accelerating the sustainable transition, the transition to sustainable energy. And we need to do that by making sure that everyone you see around here, like the elderly, the young ones, normal families, can drive an EV, can drive a Tesla. And as the club evolved over the years since it was founded, even before the official club times, how has the perception of Tesla in Germany evolved?
Well, it changes as well. I mean, as you said in the beginning, it was a club for just the rich people or rich old people, basically, and that changed as well. And I think with this fair here, we hope that even there's a bigger change, that people see that Tesla is a company that is really into sustainability, that they are building clean, good jobs for the whole community, and the whole benefit. I mean, that's one reason is why we came here together with all clubs out of Europe. I mean, yesterday we had a dinner with around about, I think it was 142 people from 16 clubs all over Europe, all over the world, basically, to show the people that we think this is a very important factory for whole Europe. Not only for Germany, but it's for whole Europe, an important step to finally get the cars here and don't have to ship them over from Shanghai or from Texas or whatever. And we hope that people see the benefit behind this company a little bit better after today.
Agree. I think this is a great PR move. Like, there's so many cameras and photos here. Like, the world is going to learn about Gigafactory Berlin. Lars, how did you and the community receive the news when you heard that Tesla was building a Gigafactory here?
Well, we are, of course, very thrilled. I mean, and immediately after that, we started reaching out to our Tesla contacts, and so I asked him, hey, can we help? Can we get involved? What can we do here? So basically, since the last 2 years when this factory was built, we were always being in contact with Tesla management and asked them, how can we get involved? And when Elon announced that thing with the fest here, immediately also we said, oh, we have to be part of this. How can this happen? And especially in the last days, we had a constant chat with Tesla about the tickets here and what can be done. And of course, Tesla made it very clear that this event here is not for us. It is for the people that live here, close to here, to show them the factory, to show them what Tesla is doing, maybe even to attract people that want to work here. And we were just a very minor part of it, but still we are very grateful that we got some owners here as a benefit and to show them around how our cars will be built in the future.
And on that, huge credit to Lars and the TFF team for organizing the dinner last night, bringing the Tesla owners community together. I've never met so many Tesla fans or even seen so many Teslas on the road coming from Singapore. We have less than 420 Teslas right now, growing quickly because we just started official deliveries 2 months ago. And Lars mentioned a lot about working closely with Tesla as they announced the Gigafactory 2 years ago, bringing it to life. You can see all around us, there are up to 9,000 people hosted today, and most of them are residents of Berlin and Brandenburg. To really let the local community understand about what this company is about, hire great talent, and just build goodwill. As you work closely with Tesla over the years, what do you love about Tesla?
Well, for me, what I love about Tesla is that Tesla is still, in many kind of ways, a startup company when it comes to how they react to customers.
Yeah.
That they can adapt so quickly. So, for instance, yesterday I saw a video of somebody who showed that the Model Y doesn't have the sensors in the back wheels anymore that detect how the car is stated, how much stuff you have in the trunk. Because here in Europe, you need to have a sensor in there that detects if there's a heavy load in the trunk. The lights need to adapt to that so that you do not blind other people. And the Model Y from China doesn't have it anymore. And he was trying to investigate why that is. And what he came up with is basically the MCU is like a smartphone. And in each smartphone you have a small gyro that can detect how the smartphone is located. So they basically wrote some software that the car now uses the internal gyro to detect this, and you don't need the sensors anymore. So less parts, less cost, less maintenance. Car is cheaper and can behave basically the same as with those parts, and that's what I love with Tesla, that they just think outside the box and just do something completely different and mostly even better than what it was before. But what I have to say, what you mentioned before, it was not only not only something that TFF did here.
Okay.
We did this with the other owners clubs together. For instance, the dinner, Martin helped with that from the Owners Club Helvetica. He collected all the information from the people and communicated with the hotel. Then the Owners Club of Austria, they provided an electric bus for 40 people that is traveling between the hotel and here and is able to pick up some of us. Of course, not everybody, because we had so many people staying in the hotel. I think it was around about 200 or so. But at least helped us a little bit to come here. So we tried to involve other clubs as well, because I couldn't handle all this stuff by myself. So I asked other clubs to help us, and they were very happy to help. And that's the thing of the Tesla community, that everybody wants to help, and basically we have friends all over the world due to Tesla.
Thank you for sharing that story of collaboration, and it is amazing. The Tesla community is really close-knit. There's a lot of people working together for a common cause, and it's a great way to make new friends across the world. And Lars mentioned working as a startup and even like writing their own software. For example, like the trunk behind. And for EVs, there are actually more than 3,000 semiconductors that goes into an electric vehicle like a Tesla, whereas for a normal auto car, it's about 1,400 semiconductors. So as the whole world is suffering from a chip shortage, Tesla uniquely is able to secure the right supplies and also write their own chips, their own software, find new semiconductors to abate a crisis. And this factory is going to be a huge source of new vehicle production as it ramps up in the next 12 months.
Yes, and because they write their own software, they can easily change the vendor where they get their chips from.
Yes.
If there's just a vendor that has a chip shortage, they can just say, okay, then let's take the other vendor and just change 2 lines in our code, and we can use them and don't have a chip shortage, and that's quite good.
And this is crazy, like working like a startup, more like a software company than just a traditional hardware company, and that gives Tesla a big advantage. Yet, no company is perfect. Every company is seeking to grow. What would you say is the biggest frustration or pain point with Tesla in Germany?
I have to say it's communication. I mean, we still we have a good relationship to Tesla management now. It gained a lot within the last years. There's a new management in Tesla since I would say 1.5 years or 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. And since this new management is in, the whole communication is way better between us and Tesla. But what I see is still we have a lot of customers complaining that when they have an issue with the car and it's not a standard issue, that then communication is kind of heavily. If you don't have a standard case in the Tesla app where you can say, okay, this is my problem, or if there's any issue in the procurement process, then sometimes communication is hard because you sometimes cannot reach Tesla by phone, or they do not answer back on emails. And in cases we see something like this happening more often on a specific topic, that's when we can now go to the Tesla management and say, hey, we realize there's an issue here, what can you do, or can you help us? And due to our close relationship now, this very often helps. And that's a good benefit for our members as well, that we can help them in case there is a problem that is normally not that easy to solve.
Agree. And when Tesla first started many years ago, most of the fans were really loyal and they're willing to wait and put up a lot of flaws. But as Gigafactory Berlin starts producing at scale and more general population buys the Model Y, communication is really critical for Tesla just to manage expectations, have happy, satisfied customers. Yes, the product's amazing, but the process of getting the product is currently a pain point for some, not just in Germany, but we face the same in Singapore as well for new owners. With this huge factory that we just saw earlier, what would you say could be the impact to the automotive industry in Germany? Like, is this a good thing for the country? Like, it spurs more innovation. What's your take?
Yeah, I think the impact is quite big, and we just recently had I think last week there was a big event happening at Volkswagen where their CEO said that he thinks Tesla has a big advantage now in producing cars because a Model 3 can be built in 10 hours while an ID3, so Volkswagen's electric car, needs 2.5 days. And that's something that was amazing for me because in the past it was always been said the big advantage of the old car manufacturers, they know how to produce, they know manufacturing. And now Tesla is not only good in software, they are even way better in the manufacturing. That blew me away. I said, wow. And hearing that from the CEO of one of the biggest car companies in the world, that he says, well, we have to keep up with Tesla, amazing. That gave me goosebumps.
The Gigafactory Berlin isn't just manufacturing cars and also batteries. There will be R&D to design new vehicles for Tesla. And Europe has different driving needs. A Cybertruck wouldn't work in Europe because it's just too big for the roads here. I see a lot of smart cars, they're really popular across Berlin and Frankfurt. If Gigafactory Berlin or Tesla Germany could design a car for Europe, what kind of car should they come up with?
Well, if it is for the European market, I would probably say station wagon.
Okay.
That's what is very famous here in Germany, especially when it comes to company cars. And I don't know if the number is still right, but I've heard that on German roads, 40 to 60% of all cars are company cars paid by a company and give out to their employees. And those cars are very often station wagons, and because they are probably of people that have to travel for business and have stuff in the bag or whatever. I think that's a big market, but only for Europe. I think outside Europe, station wagons doesn't matter at all, but maybe that is a typical car for here.
Very interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah, huge contrast from US, which is a huge SUV and truck market. Asia Pacific, it's still more of a sedan SUV market, so not so much station wagons. How will you see Gigafactory helping grow local talent, local skills in the country? Will you see more automotive, software, hardware talent coming to Germany? What's going to be the impact? And also with a brand like Tesla, will you see more young students, graduates being inspired to want to be engineers?
Yeah, I definitely, I mean, you took the tour right before me, so you see most of the people that are inside were pretty young. And there were a lot of shift leaders in there that are also, I would say, in their 20s. So you see that Tesla is already attracting new talents and new people. And I think even if those people will not stay within Tesla for, I don't know, let's say they stay there for 3 or 5 years and they maybe head off to other car companies, but they could help the whole market with their mindset, because I think it's a different mindset working here than in a traditional car company where you maybe have to fill out 5 papers before you can change something. In Tesla, you maybe write an email, say, hey, I have something to improve, and then, somebody sees it, okay, make it, do it. it's a totally different process. They are more agile, and that's something that could help the whole car industry.
That's a huge wave of change coming not just to Germany, but to the entire region in Europe. As we got the chance today to meet so many different Tesla owners clubs, one of the things that we're curious about in Singapore is we're a very young club. We only became an official club less than a month ago, and we're happy for the milestone. And we want to learn from your experiences. Like, what's one tip you would share to newer Tesla owners clubs around the country as Tesla expands?
Well, definitely keep in touch with your local management, that's for sure, and try to find benefits for your members. Try to give them a reason to join, not only for the community, but why should they do this? And transport what your mission is, and be available for them. So, like be at those kind of events. Maybe have your own newspaper that you can share. What we have, for instance, we have a paper that we print every 4 months, and we have an agreement with Tesla that this paper is at any Tesla store.
We saw it in Frankfurt.
Yeah, and some stores even put it in new cars. So whenever somebody buys a new car, he has our latest magazine in there with a ID card of the board. And we also made a brochure that is 10 pages long. I have one in my car. I'll show you later.
Okay.
Which is around about 10 pages brochure that was made by 2 of our members actually, and it contains the most important tips for new owners, like how do you charge on long trips, what do you do in emergency, how do you open the door, and all those important things that some people don't know because Tesla is so different.
Yeah.
Just as a guideline for your first days or weeks within a Tesla, and that's a very good thing. We give this to owners. What I also see very often when you are at a charger and you see how somebody is backing in, you see, oh, that's a new owner. Sometimes you see that, by the way, they back in, or by the way, they grab the charging handle, and then you approach and say, hey, are you no owner? I say, yeah, I'm just coming from the delivery. I said, oh, here I have a brochure for you that could help you, because I just realized if you go to the next stall, you get more power than this one because you're sharing. Many people don't know this, and that's a starting point how you can connect to those people and immediately build a small relationship.
It's really cool, all the outreach work that you're doing to build the community, nurture, and just make it safer for everyone to own an EV. We also met the Norway Tesla Owners Club last night, and Norway has more than 80% of all new car purchases are EVs.
Yeah, I think last month it was even over 90%, right?
Which is insane, especially with the Model Y push. How is perception of EVs in Germany today?
Well, when it comes to percentage, it was, I think, last month 17% EV. It's getting, I mean, more and more, definitely you see that, but still, I think we have to do way more when it comes to the public charging infrastructure. I mean, that's, of course, still the biggest benefit of Tesla, I think, is the charging infrastructure. I don't have to worry where I go, when I go, and how long I go. But many people in Germany do not own their own property. They don't have the possibility to charge at home. And for them, we need way more possibilities on charging in the cities and not only on long trips. I think with long trips, we are fine here, but city charging, or especially charging when you are outside the city on more open land, it's definitely improvable.
And there were elections recently in Germany, and in recent months, the top topic on top of voters' minds was not COVID anymore. COVID used to be a top topic for the past 18 months, but now what has risen a lot is sustainability.
Yes.
So how much is the government helping the cause of EV ownership or even sustainability, power walls, solar roofs?
Well, they started doing something now. I mean, they still could do more. For instance, there is a law currently in the process of being finalized that should help charging infrastructure in public. Also, we have an incentive that if you buy an EV, based on the price, you get between 9 and 6 or 5,000 euro back from the company, from your whole price. That helps as well. And I hope, I mean, the new government is not formed yet. They're currently negotiating between the parties.
Yes.
I hope that the Green Party will have a major role there as well, and that they can influence a little bit more, because the problem is with voting, the majority of voters are older people. They do not care as much for the environment as the younger people, and the younger people have way more better view into the future and what they want to see and what they want to make. And I hope that this changes a little bit with the election, that the younger people has a little bit stronger voice now, and that we have some more people in the government that are a little bit experts in what they're doing. Because if I look, for instance, who is directing now the traffic department or whatever, from my personal view, they don't have as much clue as they should be for this kind of job, and I hope this changes.
Thank you for sharing that. One last fun question. Germany is known for its famous autobahns. So for our viewers who are traveling to Germany one day and they rent a Tesla, are there any particular roads or paths that you think you would recommend to them?
Well, there are. I'm not such a highway driver because driving fast on a straight line is something basically everybody can do. You don't need skills for that. I prefer more tiny roads with a lot of turns and stuff like this. So therefore I would go to the area of Eifel, for instance, or the Bergisch Land, where you can have streets where you can drive around about 100 kilometers an hour as a speed, but with a lot of turns, with a very nice views, so that's good. If you really want to drive fast, do it in the night, because normally our highways are crowded. It's very rare that you can drive 200 kilometers an hour or something.
I see.
Or if you really want to have a blast, go to the Nürburgring, the famous Nürburgring.
Yes.
Biggest racetrack in the world. It's still on a regular basis open for the public, so you can buy a ticket for 1, 2, 3 rounds, whatever. Do this. It's amazing. For example, 3 years ago, we did our annual membership meeting at the Nürburgring.
Wow.
And we rented the track for 1 hour exclusively for our members. And that was amazing. I mean, we had Björn Nieland with us, for instance. He was a little bit bored because he thought we were too slow. He wanted to overtake, and we had a strict no overtake rule. But it was a real fun event driving to the Nürburgring 3 times with our cars. And at that time, we only had Model S's, X's, and Roadsters.
Yes.
And for those cars, they still had a little bit of heating issues. So after those three turns, every turn took around about, I think, 20 minutes, 15 between 20 minutes, I think. Cars starting to get it a little bit overheated. But I think with the new 3s and Ys or the new Plaids, this wouldn't be an issue. So you even could enjoy the track even more. So that's something that I think we can or should do maybe in the future again, and maybe do it with other clubs. I already spoke to William from UK about it. Is it something we should look into? Do an event on the Nürburgring maybe together with some clubs and just have fun for a weekend or so. And this is something where we can also invite people. Hey, join us if you want to ride with us. We can give out ride-alongs with us on the Nürburgring to show people how fun this car could be. Not only that it's good for the environment, but it can be a fun car.
Agree. We also met the Tesla Owners Romania Club, and they mentioned that they ordered a Tesla Model S Plaid, and it's arriving February next year. When is it arriving in Germany?
Well, officially it says middle next year. That's why I canceled my Model S and replaced it with a Model Y, because I don't want to wait such a long time. But it's basically you need a crystal ball to really say the exact date. Even German management didn't want to tell me an exact date, or they don't know, because we know Tesla is driven out of Fremont.
Yes.
Probably Elon decides it, and then 2 months later we get it, or 2 weeks later we get it. But right now they are still concentrating on the US market. And what's still a big issue here, you know, in Germany we have CCS as charging standard.
Yes.
It's different than the US.
Yes.
And if you own an old Model S or Model X, you need an adapter in order to charge at the CCS stalls.
I see.
And many people hope that the reversed Model S Plaid or long range will have a different charging system so that you can use CCS built in. But by the designs that we saw right now with the backlights, it looks like it is not big enough to fit CCS in. So they probably have to do some kind of little design tweak in order to fit the plug in there.
I see.
So maybe that's an issue as well. I don't know.
I see. With that, thank you for sharing your perspectives, your stories, and your experiences, Lars.
Thank you.
It was really great meeting Lars, as well as the broader Tesla owners community from all over the world, organized as a joint collaboration with all the different groups. So, if you found this interview useful, please click the like button, hit subscribe to stay updated to more conversations like this. And signing off from Berlin, well, actually signing off from Brandenburg in Grünhilde. Auf Wiedersehen.
Thank you. Zaijian.